Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
The supremacy of God. The stories of Elijah and Obadiah. Elijah said to Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there won't be any dew or rain these years, except I say otherwise. Then the Lord said to Elijah, get up and go eastward, and hide yourself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan, and you will drink from the brook. And I have commanded the ravens to feed you there. Elijah did as the Lord commanded. The ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning and in the evening, and he drank from the brook. And it came to pass that after a while the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. After many days, God told Elijah to go and show himself to Ahab, and he would send rain upon the earth. Ahab then called Obadiah, who was the governor of his house. Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. Ahab then said to Obadiah, go into the land. Peradventure, you might find grass to save the horses. Ahab went one way, while Obadiah went another way. As Obadiah was on his way, Elijah met him, and he knew him, and so he fell on his face and said, are you not my lord Elijah? Elijah answered, I am. Go and tell your lord that Elijah is here. When Obadiah hesitated, Elijah said, as the Lord lives, I will surely show myself to him today. Obadiah then went to Ahab and told him about Elijah. Ahab came and met Elijah. When Ahab saw Elijah, he said, are you not the one troubling Israel? Elijah replied, I have not troubled Israel, but you and your father's house, because you have forsaken the Lord and his commandments, and have followed Baalim. Elijah meets King Ahab and throws the challenge. This was recorded in 1 Kings from verse 1 to 19. The contest on Mount Carmel. The contest on Mount Carmel was recorded in 1 Kings chapter 18 from verse 20 to 46. Ahab sent for all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets. Ahab sent for all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets to come to Mount Carmel. And Elijah came to the people and said, How long have you between two opinions? How long? Elijah came unto all the people and said, for how long will you continue to have two opinions? And Elijah came unto all the people and said, for how long shall you continue to have two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow Baal. And the people did not answer him. Elijah said unto the people, even if I remain a prophet of the Lord. And Elijah said to the people, even I only, remain a prophet of the Lord. But Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And then I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And they will call on the name of their gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord God. And the God that answers by fire, let him be God. And all the people answered and said, yes, we agree with you. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose 1 bullock for yourselves and dress it first, because you people are many. And call on the name of your gods, but don't put any fire under. And they did as Elijah had said. And called on the name of Baal from morning even until afternoon. And they said, O Baal, hear us. But still there was no voice. And no one answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass that in the afternoon Elijah mocked them and said, if you like, cry. If you like, shout. He is not God, That's why he's not talking, and he's not even doing anything about what you're calling him for. Probably he's on a journey, or probably he's sleeping, and he cannot wake up. They cried out loud and called themselves after their manner with knives and lancets, till blood gushed out from their body. And then it came to pass, when midday had passed, that was in the evening, they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, but there was no voice. They kept calling on Baal, but he did not answer. Then Elijah said to the people, "Come closer to me, because I'm about to call on my God. Come closer to the altar of the Lord, and come closer to me. I'm about to call the name of the Lord." He repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down. Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob. Unto him the word of the Lord came, saying, "Israel shall be your name." And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and he made a trench about the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces. And he laid them on the wood, and said, "Fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood." And he said, "Do it the second time." And they did it the second time. And he said to them, "Do it the third time." And they did it the third time. And the water ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that Elijah the prophet came near and said, "Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things according to your word. Hear me, Lord, hear me, that these people may know that you are the Lord God, and that you have turned their hearts back again." Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up all the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, "The Lord, indeed, he is the God. The Lord is God." And Elijah said unto them, "Take the prophets of Baal, let no one of them escape." And they took all of them. And Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon, and slew them there. And Elijah said unto Ahab, "Stand up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain." And Elijah said unto Ahab, "Stand up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain." Ahab went up to eat and drink, and Elijah went to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth, and put his face between his knees. He said to his servant, "Go up now, look toward the sea." And he went up and looked and said, "There is nothing." And he said, "Go again, and again, and again, do it 7 times. And it came to pass that at the 7th time he said, "Behold, there is a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand." And he said, "Go and say to Ahab, prepare your chariot." And he said, "Go and say to Ahab, prepare your chariot, and get thee down, that the rain doesn't stop you." And it came to pass in the meanwhile that the heaven was black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. And Ahab rode and went to Jezreel, and the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel.